to be talking about how to apply pressure to your athletes. And I'm going to give you, I have about 6 or 7 ways to do it right here. Some of them are, I would say, creative and can make the practices even more fun. Some of them are kind of hard, but I'm going to give you 6 or 7 ways to apply pressure at practice. But the big thing is like, why? Like, why should we apply pressure at practice? Because swimming involves pressure. Like when you go to a swim meet, there's pressure. There's pressure to perform. There's pressure because of the size of a meet, the speed of a meet, the level of a meet. There's pressure if there's an opportunity to final, that sort of thing. So the reason why we want to recreate it is because we want to be able to, coaching is not just training the system. Like, it's not just training kids to be butterflyers or freestylers. You're coaching the mind. You're coaching your athletes to be able to be as prepared as possible for competition. And we can get pretty close at practice to that same feeling. I don't think we can get there exactly, but you can start helping your athletes build mental frameworks and models if you do it. So before I start going into these, what I really want you to learn, and what will definitely make these things matter, is you have to talk about how pressure at practice relates to pressure at meets. So we call this labeling, where you just label the emotion, or you label the feeling, or you label the effect. But that's really what we want to do. We want to label what the athletes are going through. This will also help you get more out of your athletes. So let's say before you do one of these things that you say, hey, today I'm gonna apply a little pressure on you, which you might like or dislike, but at the end of the day, at swim meets, there's pressure. And as a team, we're gonna learn how to handle pressure really, really well. Okay. All right, one more thing before I go into it. I know you want the tactical stuff. Um, One of the best ways to deal with pressure is to teach your team how to not give in to the highs and the lows. So the highs and the lows are like the emotional highs and the emotional lows. Every mountain will have a valley, but if we can have hills and gullies instead of mountains and valleys, I think that's better. So all that being said, like when you go to a swim meet for the first time, a big fast meet, and your athletes are like freaking out, like that's an example of we got too high there. The emotions got too high. So we want to teach athletes how these things can feel normal and they can feel good. Okay, so let's talk about some of the fun ones. Race days. Race days at practice are freaking awesome. Like I love it when like if we have 12 to 20 kids at practice. I've done it with bigger groups. It gets a little harder with bigger groups. But basically I tell them, hey, you have 20, 30 minutes to warm up as a team. And then we're going to take about 10 minutes to pick events. And we're going to go 10 versus 10, and we're going to score by heats, whatever. Like think of a dual meet, just a dual meet at practice. And sometimes we don't even take times when we do this. We just have them race. And I always pick the events. So and then the way you can do it is you just figure out how many kids you have, how many races you want each of them to swim, and then the races from there. What I love to do is I like to do like off races or sometimes different races. So like 150 kick as a race, a 75 fly as a race. I think those are really just really great ways to have some fun racing. And then on top of that, with the pressure, like hopefully you pick even-ish teams where it evens out. But they're going to feel that feeling of competition at practice. So that's really good. That's really what we want to see. And I think another way to add like an extra layer of pressure of this is like there's some sort of punishment. So maybe this race day takes part on the first hour and a half of practice. In the last 30 minutes, you're like, all right, I have 2 sets. You're either going to do it IM or freestyle, depending on if you win or lose. And I'm not a fan of like punishing athletes with swimming with training. Like I don't think that's a great way to build like a positive mindset around swim. But every now and then, not a terrible idea. And just so it feels good to win and it feels crappy to lose, right? All right, another one is team challenges. So this kind of goes along in race day, but it's kind of like the whole team thing. So you could say we're doing 650s all out off the blocks on 3 minutes, and you got to be within one of your best or two of your best or something like that. And you tell everybody, like, as a team, we have to score this many points to be done for today. So if we don't score that many points, we're going to keep going until we hit it. So again, you're going to apply a little bit of pressure to perform. That's really what this is about, pressure to perform. So the way I would do this is I would have like 10 50s on 3 minutes. Okay, that's a 30-minute set right there. And if I had 10 kids at practice, I want everybody to hit their time at least on like 5 or 6 of them. And so I'll say, okay, we got to score 60 points. Like you got to be within two of your best, score 60 points as a team, and boom, we're done, right? But if we're not all done, we're not all done, and we're all gonna go. And then you can even add like, all right, if somebody is more than 3 away, then we're just redoing that one altogether. Like somebody's not trying hard enough. So say somebody's like mad that they have to do an extra one or something. Like this is a team thing. And again, there's going to be team moments. This is an individual sport, but a lot of our high schools, middle schools, and hopefully if you're really building a strong team at the club level, like you feel that team pressure. And I think that's a good thing. Another one is get out swims. So we do get out swims once a month where if you hit your time, you're done with practice that day. So the way we normally do it, and we do it more of in a team challenge format where we take like 7 to 10 swims. We call them just offers. Like make an offer, we'll accept it or not. So like let's say it's like a 4,500 freestyler. He's like, I'll be 46.9 off the blocks here at practice. I'm like, okay, I'll take that offer. And if he hits his time, then they get that one. So a lot of times I'll take about 10 swims, and we need to win at least 6 of them to get out. And a lot of times it comes down to the last 1 or 2 people to get it. I mean, you as the coach, make sure you know your athletes and take good offers. Like we have rules like no 50s on the offers. They're just a little too easy. Like the look on the kid's face when they know they have to do 100 or 200 for time, and they're like, shoot, like that's that pressure. Like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta make this happen. But get out swims are great. We've done prelim final days before where like we had a double practice that day. So we had morning practice was prelims, right? And back to that, not necessarily a punishment thing, but like if you did X, Y, and Z in the morning practice, then you earned a spot in finals at our evening practice. And that doesn't mean the practice in the evening was going to be easier. It's just going to be different. And it's just, again, kind of a challenge, different way. Prelim, final. Get them to think about it. And especially if you're trying to get them to swim fast at a morning practice. Now, most morning practices take place earlier than they would at a real meet. Like at a real meet, you're swimming early between 9 and 11 a.m. for the most part. There's longer sessions. So swimming fast at 6:30 is a little different, but it's that idea that, hey, you got to get up and go. And it's like, say it's a Thursday morning practice. That's very similar to how you're going to feel at a Sunday morning prelim. Like we want to replicate that feeling and that pressure. So that's a great way. It's a simple idea. The next thing I would do, or the next option you have or idea you have, is, man, just something hard. Like you write something on a workout and it's a little outside of their comfort zone. Again, I'm not for doing this like all the time. I don't think training should always feel like this, oh my God, there's this giant mountain I have to climb today. I also think not all athletes are kind of bought into that sort of training. There are a good chunk that really want to, that love that extra push, but definitely not everybody every day. But again, something hard, something that gets a little pit in their stomach, like, oh, we're just in for a ride today. And again, you talk to them, be like, hey, we're gonna get to a point at practice today where you're gonna feel like you can't do it, and you're gonna be a little scared to push and how it's gonna feel. And I need you to lean into that. I need you to push into that feeling and don't back off when that moment comes. This one's real hard for coaches to do. Purposely put in failure at practice. So it's like, all right, everybody step up, random part of practice. We're all going to do 100 freestyle off the blocks here. If everybody isn't within 3 of their best, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And there's a good chance not everybody's going to be there that day. And again, that's okay. It's going to be a great opportunity to teach team failure. Just be ready to coach and talk them through it. If you don't, like if you just do it, they're just going to be pissed. So just be ready for that. It's a good um, failure is a part of the process. And a lot of times it's really easy to talk about failure and but when you feel failure, it's completely different. It's kind of like you can talk about how a meat's gonna feel, but it's really there. You don't really know what it's gonna feel like. And here's my last one: visualize. Visualization is an extremely powerful tool, and you can have an athlete visualize what a race is going to feel like or what it's going to feel like at a meet. And you can have them sit there and you're like, hey, we're going to sit here for 30 seconds and we're going to picture ourselves at a swim meet. Like, have them wear tech suits that day so the feeling's even more real. Like, okay, we're at a big swim meet. There's a lot on the line. Like, if you get top four in this heat, you have a chance of getting into finals. Like, you can mentally put them in a situation to just feel that, and then you step up and race. And like again, you put like a goal time on there and say, okay, this is what it will take to make it to finals. So those are the tools. I hope it helps you. I hope you think about pressure, especially as the season goes on. And pressure is something you can teach throughout the whole year. It's not just a end of season thing. It's a early season thing. It's a mid season thing. Learning how to handle pressure is a skill, and any skill you can train through practice, preparation, and conversations with your coach. I hope this helps. I hope you guys have a great day.